Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Wyatt, and today I'm going to review the new horror film called Ready or Not 2, which is a follow-up sequel to the first Ready or Not that came out in 2019, which basically that movie came out 7 years ago. It took them 7 years to do the sequel. Now, to be fair, they had done other movies because this is the same director called Radio Silence that made the first Ready or Not movie, and they directed Scream 5 and 6, and they directed Abigail, which I really liked what they did with Scream 5. I didn't love it, but I thought it was a decent, a good sequel in following the legacy of Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson. But I didn't like Scream 6 as much as the fifth one, but it's still not a bad movie. And I thought Abigail was a very underrated film. I really loved Abigail. That movie took me by surprise. And they originally were supposed to direct the seventh installment of the Scream franchise, but then they walked away from it for many different reasons, which I won't go into. If you want to know more about it, then watch my Scream 7 review on my channel. But I will say that it was kind of odd that they want to come back and do the sequel after 7 years. Even though that they originally were going to do Scream 7, they were like, you know what? Since we're not going to direct the sequel to Scream 7, we're going to direct Ready or Not 2. And I was very skeptical in the beginning. I was like, how are you going to top this? I mean, what happened at the end of the movie? We know that the whole family got killed by this whole ritual thing that they were supposed to do after Samara Weaving's character survived that horrendous nightmare game that they did with hide and seek. And spoiler alert, if you have not watched the first one, they all died, and the whole ritual thing was all real, and it was not made up. And that was a great plot twist, and it just ended. It didn't look like they were trying to set up the sequel. But then I watched the trailer, and I will say that I was intrigued by it. And it looked like they were going to try to expand upon the lore of this whole satanic cult and this whole mythology that they built around with it. And then you got Elijah Wood in the movie, and then Sarah Michelle Gellar was going to be one of the main characters, one of the families that are going to be the ones hunting her down in this next game, because this movie's literally picking up right where it left off in the first movie. It's literally a part 2 story. Samara Weaving survived, and now she's caught up with this 4 different families of the High Council, and now that they're going to try to up the game now that she survived, and Elijah Wood is going to be organizing the new game where which of the 4 families is going to win and when they hunt her down, and what if any of them wins, then they get the seat at the high table and they get the control of the entire world. And remember, there are satanic cult followers, and they're completely fucked up. And then they had to up the new game when she refused to play. They kidnapped her sister, who was played by Kathryn Newton, her long lost sister that she hadn't seen in years. And now that they're going to have to team up and survive, basically. And I will say that after coming out of the theater, I will say that I enjoyed it. I won't say it's as good as the first one because I'm someone who has loved the first Ready or Not. It was a great original idea that has never been done before. But my biggest issue of the second film is that when the 4 different families are the ones who are going to be hunting her down, they had a weapon of choice, and they're supposed to be the smart people. But really, they're literally more of the Dr. Evil, that they're basically not as smart, and they dumbed them down, and they basically felt more of the Dr. Evil instead of the more of the Bond villains. Because what they should have done differently, that they should have made these 4 families smarter, and it ups the stakes. And I love the idea that they want to expand upon the lore and do this whole world building, but the problem is they didn't really do a good job of it. But the best part of the movie was definitely Elijah Wood, that he added a lot of gravitas to the role. And I thought Sarah Michelle Gellar did a really good job in the role. She wasn't that bad, but I think the rest of those characters, the ones that are hunting Samara Weaving and Kathryn Newton down, I think that they were so badly written. It felt like that the Radio Silence really took some of the characters from the first movie who are really one of the families who are really dumb and they were not smart, and then they just brought it into a whole new level. And you're asking yourself, how the hell did they were able to survive all these years when they did this whole traditional ritual game that they have done? And how did they survive? They're supposed to be smart, and apparently they're not. They're really that stupid. They really dumbed them down. I understand that you want to turn your brain off, just suspend your disbelief, and just be entertained by it because we know that the main character is probably going to survive it, and it felt very predictable. But I will say the third act was pretty messed up, and it definitely built up the suspense here and there without giving away too much. And I did enjoy the banter between Samara Weaving and Kathryn Newton. And Kathryn Newton is not the first time that she's worked with the director's Radio Silence, because she was in the movie Abigail, so it's no surprise, because And I love Kathryn Newton, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bag on her at all, I'm not trying to talk trash about her, but I feel like she's getting a little bit typecast of being in a lot of horror movies, especially horror comedy. I feel like that she's not really branching out other genres. I feel like she's always staying in horror movies, basically. I wish she would branch out and do other stuff. But anyway, it's not a make or break for me. I thought she did a great job. I thought the chemistry between her and Samara Weaving was amazing. And a lot of people always mistake Samara Weaving as Margot Robbie because she definitely resembles to her. And in case you didn't know, her last name is Weaving, and she is the daughter of Hugo Weaving. And in case you don't know who Hugo Weaving is, he is the actor that portrayed Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy. He was also in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, one of the greatest actors working in the business. And Samara Weaving continues to crush it on her performance. The body count is so extreme. Even the blood splatter is so far extreme than more than the first movie did. I can't even remember how many counts of those blood splattered that they've done over this movie, more than what they did in the first one. And like I said before, Elijah Wood was literally the best part of that film, who added a lot of gravitas. And I feel like that there's a lot of layers to him that we haven't seen before, and I feel like we could have done more. And it almost felt like that Radio Silence wanted to replicate what the John Wick universe had done. When you see the first John Wick movie, you see a simple revenge tale, but you see the mystery behind the character of John Wick, and you know a little bit. You only know a little bit less about his backstory. And then you see the introduction of the Continental Hotel of assassins and that there are rules. And until you get to the sequels, they really built upon it and they executed very well. The problem was with Ready or Not 2, they didn't execute it very well. Especially the four families were very shitty and very stupid, making a lot of dumb decisions that just have your head scratching. And, and like I said before, you're asking yourself, how the hell did they survive all these years? How did they manage to get through this all these years? It just babbles me. I wish they would have been a little bit more smarter and more strategic. And that way the stakes and the suspense would have been a lot higher than it was in the first movie. But that's just me. Overall, I still liked it for what it was. I still enjoy the movie. It felt like a little bit of a completion of these first two films. And this movie did not do very well at the box office. No one went out to go see it. But I still had a good time watching it overall. Even though it wasn't as good as the first one, I still was very entertained because I love the main characters. I thought they were very good. It's well directed. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. This was a 7. I still think the first movie was definitely a better film compared to this. I still encourage you to still check it out if you're a fan of Ready or Not. If you're a fan of the first movie, I think you'll like it. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought about it. For those of you who have seen it, let me know what your thought about it in the comment section below. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up and hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you know when my videos are up. And in case you are new to the channel, I have a second channel, YouTube channel called Small Zero. I co-hosted alongside with Ryan Cam and 3D Jake. We cover everything that's going around in the world of movies and TV shows, trailers, so on and so forth. We had a first major guest on our show recently. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. I'm going to put the channel in the description down below. Definitely go and subscribe and give us support. Show us some love and support and be respectful. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to follow my social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, the link tree will be down in the description down below as well. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from, and stay tuned for more of my content.